All right, here we are on the Open World Cruise again, and it's Friday, June 21st. We are docked at the port of Trieste in Italy, and today we're going to travel to neighboring Slovenia to see some caves and a castle cave, and then we'll come back and spend some time in Trieste. So our trip to Slovenia to get to the caves took about an hour and roughly an hour and a half from Trieste. And our tour guide wanted us to hear this Slovenian music, so here it is. Apparently they use a lot of accordions in Slovenia. Now, these Posiana caves, I think that's the way you pronounce it, are the largest caves in Europe. And they're so large, there's like more than 3 miles of caves. So you have to take a train, actually, to get into where the good part of the cave is. So we'll take about a 10-minute train ride in, and then we'll walk for about 3 miles. And then we'll take a train ride back out. And these caves, I think she said, this particular cave is 54 kilometers. And so we only see a small part of it, but it's absolutely amazing. We've been to Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico, and this place is like the Carlsbad Caverns on steroids. It's really totally amazing. So when you first get on the train, you think, well, we're gonna go see the whole cave on the train, but actually it was just to get us into what they thought was the good part, even though the train ride in was pretty spectacular. So my video camera did not do well in the darkness of the cave, and so I just took some stills, and even they're not spectacular in their clarity, but it'll give you an idea of the magnitude of this 3-mile walk that we made within the cave. I actually videoed the whole thing and then went back and made stills because the video wasn't good enough in the dark. Okay, so Laurie just corrected me. The walk was a little over a mile, not 3 miles. So yes, the walking surface that we're on was pretty wide and non-slip. It was wet the whole way because there's still water dripping from the stalactites, and there's quite a bit of elevation change as you're going through the cave. At one point, I think we were something like 40 meters above the entrance to the cave, and then we were some distance below at one point. I don't remember the exact number, but it's just a fantastic cave. It was carved out over millions of years by a river that runs through this, they call it karst formation, that has a lot of limestone in it. So I guess that's what gets eroded. I'm not a geologist, but lots of stalactites, stalagmites, lots of curtains, spaghetti, they call them spaghetti stalactites, the little ones. Some of them have shiny crystals on them. There's all kinds of shapes. In a couple of places it looked like there was a nativity scene made out of stalagmites. But it's a definite must if you come to Trieste or any place in Slovenia to go see these caves, because they are world class by anybody's measurement system. Now you can hear the river down below. I didn't do a very good job editing. It's hard to see. It's off in the dark down there. But that's the river that formed these caverns. It still runs through the bottom of the caves. So our next stop was I don't know how to pronounce it, Prejima Castle. And this castle, I think she said, was started to be built in the first, and has been occupied continuously up until the end of World War II, after which time they nationalized this castle and opened it up to the public. It's an amazing place. It's again part of the karst. Made of that same karst rock that the caves were formed, that we just went through. This whole mountain is like a piece of Swiss cheese. And when you first look at this castle, you say, "Oh, that looks like a nice castle built up against the rocks." But actually, the castle is part of the caves are part of the castle. There's a few rooms that they built kind of away from the caves behind, but many of the rooms in the castle are actually caves. And that's what makes it so fascinating. And the story is, I showed you that where that bathroom is up there. The guy that owned this thing was kind of like a Robin Hood, and they were trying to kill him. I guess the rulers didn't like him stealing from their caravans and whatnot, so they somehow convinced one of his workers to put a flag out when he was in the bathroom, because it wasn't very reinforced. And so he put the white flag out, and that's when they bombarded the bathroom and they killed him in the bathroom. So anyway, this is the dining room. You see, this looks like a normal castle dining room. And the kitchen is next door. But the kitchen fireplace is built into the caves. You can see the sink there for washing dishes just has a drain that goes out and dumps down the face of the rock. But that fireplace is built back up in the caves. There was a dungeon one of the first things we saw was a dungeon that was actually a pit in the caves. This is the bedroom, and it has a little bench there with a window going into a little church that they have built in. There's a priest that was resident there, so the family could attend their mass just by sitting in that bench in their bedroom. That's the church part of it. They would look through that window, and this is the quarters, or where the priest would live that would conduct the mass for him. And several places here had a connection down to the dungeon. And you'll be able to see some of the weapons and for the fortification of the castle. Up in the attic, they had a workshop up there where looks like they worked on all their weapons and kept their suits of armor. This next thing you're going to see is the observation platform. That building right straight in front of you is the bathroom where they bombarded and killed the guy that was the Robin Hood of the area. But there's an observation deck right near that restroom, and it has a pretty commanding view of the valley. They said when the castle was there, they would have chopped down all the trees in this valley so that the enemy had no place to hide as they approached. And originally, the entrance to the castle was way down in the bottom by the stream, not up where it is now. So if you look down, which I'll show you the view down in the bottom of the valley down there, it's pretty well straight up. And there would have been a steep path from down below up to where the door and the drawbridge was into the castle. that entrance over to the left wasn't there years ago. Anyway, here's the storage of all the weapons of war and the medieval weapons were pretty gross. Yeah, you can see a lot of the passageways in the castle are actually caves. And this is the attic where they kept suits of armor, and there was a shop up there, like a blacksmith shop or something. There's a guy, I guess the blacksmith slept up there as well. You could actually buy some of those weapons. I don't think they'd let them back on the ship, so yeah, you could buy a crossbow that actually shot arrows. Now, the last part of the castle we saw there was actually, they called it the cave castle. So if somebody broke into the castle and made it up to the top level, there was the last area. The last area was a cave castle, and actually they had an exit to go out somewhere up on the rock behind. And when the castle was under siege, they used that stairway to go out and get fresh food so that they could outlast the siege that was put on them. So that's the castle. Now we're back in Trieste. This is this town square right near where Serenade of the Seas is docked. And we went out looking for some food. We found a really nice restaurant. It had some great Italian pasta and pizza and caprese salad. It was really good. But again, the Italian work on these buildings, if you look at that beautiful artwork up there, they're not just buildings, they're pieces of art. That's what you got to love about Italy. Now, our last stop was to get gelato.
What's this one?
From Gelato Marco. And this place came highly recommended, and it didn't disappoint. We had some really great gelato here before we got back on the ship.
Gelato Marco. And you gotta
show you what the gelato looked like.
Okay. Say hello.
Thank you.
Are you Marco?
That's the owner right there.
Are you fine? Welcome to the best ice cream in town.
It's the best in Italy. Yeah. We know. Okay.
Anyway, we had to be back on the ship by 7:30, and our next stop is Koper, Slovenia. So we're going to get some more time in Slovenia tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you very much.
We've eaten a lot of gelato, but this is the best, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. We have automatic payment machines.
This is the first time we've seen these automatic payment things. When you're done, they give you your gelato, and you go over and put your money in that machine right there and pay them. It's got a self-service payment. First time we've seen that.
Oh,
Yes. Lemon, strawberry, mojito, almond.
wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got back on the ship with a couple hours to spare, and we'll be ready for Koper, Slovenia tomorrow. So stay tuned, and we'll get another video published. More Slovenia. We love it.